We've got oil prices in and out of 4-year highs. I remember disproportionately weighted in the Dow with Chevron, certainly ExxonMobil. You could go to Chesapeake Energy and other than the S&P 500 and all that. That is lifting the Dow today. But what oil giveth, it can also take it away here on the notion that slows the economy down. You pay more at the pump. And then all of a sudden, consumers are getting hurt. We've got market watcher Christine Short with us, Moody's chief economist John Lonski, and Fox Business's Kristina Partsinevelos. Kristina, that is the battle royale, the back and forth on oil. And first off, and the feeling that, yeah, it's going to lift it up on the prospect there'll be less oil out there, Iranian oil, but longer term, maybe not a big impact.
Right, because you're already seeing in the futures market trading about $2 higher. And so that was the big concern.
Right.
Long term, usually you would turn to futures. And the issue, though, we can see with some investors is they're not always right at guessing the price of oil. The pro is that
John is. He's
well,
very good.
sorry for John.
I try.
Yeah, what we know in the future is that there's going to be global growth continuing to grow. They're going to need oil regardless if we all switch to electric cars. And so even with Iran out of the picture, but what is it, 2.5 million barrels a day?
Right.
There's ample supply in the United States and elsewhere. So some investors, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, are seeing that the long-term gain is still there.
Yeah, but we're also, we're looking at higher gasoline prices right now.
Right.
They're up 20% from a year ago, highest in
average.
September 2015, something like that.
And that was pre the whole Iran thing, right?
Yeah,
that was just demand and an improving economy, right?
It's moving on. It's moving up. And, of course, it's a good thing these people have tax cuts. It better afford a higher price for gasoline. But that
and
does
bigger
take
cars, crossover SUVs.
That's
Might
right.
be a wash. We were talking before this, Kristina, about the effect on some American companies and those that have contracts, businesses there. I think Boeing had said it has committed contracts, future potential contracts in the $20 billion range. They would be presumably null and void if this doesn't let up, right? So is it having a material impact, do you think, or what?
Minimal impact to Boeing. Boeing is huge. They've been on fire lately. This is really only a fraction of their business, this Iran business.
Well, how do they book it then? I mean,
So it depends if you're whether you're Boeing or Airbus. So Boeing tends to be very conservative how they log their book orders, and so they wait a little while, and they have actually deferred these plane orders till past 2018.
Right.
Whereas Airbus has already logged these, so you're going to see more of an impact for them, just because now they have to go back and rework their numbers. For Boeing, we're already seeing a backlog of 6,000 commercial jet orders, and so that's worth about $500 billion, and that doesn't include Iran.
I wonder if that's ever factored into the price of the stock, though. I mean, if you think, okay, they got X number of orders, and maybe to your point, there are so many that this is just small in the scheme of things. But there are other players as well that do business out there, or now business that could go to foreign competitors, right?
Yeah, you have to think of those U.S. companies that manufacture parts that are used by Airbus. Okay,
Right.
They may lose those orders, but this deal with Iran is a much bigger matter for the Europeans and for the United States. I think European trade with Iran amounts to $25 billion. With the United States, it's only $200 million. It's small potatoes for the U.S. from an economic perspective.
But obviously, the president was intimating yesterday, Kristina, that you don't really want to do business with those guys. So the 5 other signatories on this, if they don't go along with us, the president seemed to be hinting, I could get very tough on you, too. I mean, would he do that to England and France and Germany?
I think that something like that could take a while, but just the fear of that happening could be enough to put some, the leaders of some big businesses on the back burner and say, no, we're going to hold off a little bit because we don't want to go against anything that.
Well, they've got a 90-day period.
Yeah,
to get,
so 90
right?
and then 180 days, which according to the government, that's enough time to get out of business with Iran. But the question is for a lot of these European countries or companies, how are they going to react? Are they going to go follow suit? Because the United States is the only country to pull out of this deal. You still have Europe, China, Russia.
They don't want it, but I do read there's always a sort of a pragmatic underpinning to the president's approach, whether it's trade deals, Iranian deals. I don't know how they're going to proceed with China, where he shows a little bit of or hints of flexibility, where this 90 thing you alluded to that could go up to 180 days. What do you think of that? There's an out here and a way to avoid all the stuff that people are fearing.
Yeah, I think that could change, but I think you're already hearing from European companies and Chinese companies, they're likely going to follow suit. If we stick on this, they're likely going to follow along with what we do. I mean, Airbus is a French company. The issue for them is that most of their parts come from the U.S., and so they would have to go ahead and follow along. But I think you're probably going to see a lot of those companies follow suit.
Would we say that the deal is killed then, essentially, if you're saying that?
It remains to be seen, but I agree with you where President Trump can show some flexibility, and so we're going to have to wait these next few days and see what the ending
If
terms of the
Iran
deals
is willing to renegotiate, then why not keep business going with them? Okay,
But what's in it for them to renegotiate? What's in it for them to renegotiate? If they've got all their billions, if they got the pallets of cash that was sent on private jets, they've got all that. So I know there's the threat of sanctions and all that, but they got all the money.
Airplanes,
They do. They still have the oldest aircraft in the air today. And so
they have a lot of domestic political tension there, too.
Yeah.
We don't.
But 2 points to that. They do have the oldest airplanes. They said that they wanted to buy 500 commercial jets. This is 2 years ago, and actually create direct flights to the United States. So clearly that's going to change. But they did say with oil that, forget it, if the U.S. isn't going to be a partner with us, we'll just go to China and Russia.
Yeah, they did say that. You know what I did find interesting about the Iranian government? Makes you think maybe there might have been some wisdom behind this and thought going it is the way Iran reacted. I thought at first the death to America stuff that I was hearing about was coming from protesters. No, it was like their leaders, throwing crap in a building and all that stuff. And I just thought, wow, this could get nasty. This could get really, really nasty because this is the government responding here.
Didn't they also said that, they threatened watch what we do next.
Right.
Yeah, yesterday.
Right. And the president's threatened them, you better watch what you do when you say you watch what you do next.
And Iran does have troops in Syria. Keep an eye on that.
You think they would deliberately agitate now?
I hope not. I don't think it would be a wise thing to do, but you never know.
Which is why volatility will continue.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, thank you very much on that.